Hi folks, today we're going to strip and remove the foam gauze out of an LS3 foam lance. Let's take it off the workbench and we'll show you how it's done. Okay, so tools we're going to need are a lightweight hammer, a 14mm spanner, probably a light pick, something to pick the actual gauze out with, a 3mm punch, like that, 17mm socket, 1/2 inch, 3/8, doesn't matter. Then we have got a 22mm spanner, ring spanner, and a 17mm ring spanner as well. That's all you need. So first thing we're going to do is remove the actual knob on the top, Phillips screwdriver, and we're just going to undo that. Just be careful you don't lose the screw. There we go. So we'll go like that. And there's the screw, and like so. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is remove the brass nut. I say you want to be careful with this because you can easily damage them. So we've got a nice decent socket on. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch driver. Normally they don't take much removing, but there we go. Just remove that. Take that off. Next thing we're going to use a spanner, a 14mm spanner, and just undo that. Put that down, see it. So what this means now, we can put it in the vise. We're not going to damage anything, and it's a lot more secure, so we can now remove the actual nozzle protector. Okay, so now what we're going to do is using the punch to remove this bar, the locating bar, and just gently tap it through. And then we can take the actual nozzle protector off. Okay, so now using the actual ring part of the spanner, put it over the top until it's secure over the two nuts, and just use enough force and it should just gently come off, no problem at all. And you'll notice it's coming off at this part here, it's actually separating just below. And if you look inside, there's your gauze. Okay, now normally they do get full of all kinds of bits of rust and bits of metal, so they do need replacing fairly frequently to maintain the performance of the actual foam lance. Okay, so the way we're going to get this out, if you use the same 3mm drift and push it through the hole, through there, and you should be able to just push it out through the top. And there's your gauze. And obviously that's available as an aftermarket part, replacement part. And use the bottom of the punch and just make sure that's seated in like that. It needs to be firmly. If you look where the ring is, you can see it's seated properly in the bottom there. Okay, so the next thing, we'll put it back onto the top and just do it hand tight first. Make sure you're threading onto the male part of the foam lance. Now there's no need to over tighten it because it is brass, so we can just put the spanner on with the ring side and just gently nip it up so it's nicely nipped like that. So we've got some protection on the vise, and we're just going to put it back into the vise just to hold it. We haven't got any good flats really to hold it on, so I'm just using these to hold it best I can so it doesn't damage anything. Okay, so now we're going to put the actual knob assembly onto the top. So the next is the cap over the top. Again, just nip that up. Now we can take it back out. So need to put this up back onto the top like that. Then the plastic cap goes on the top, and then the screw into the top. Again, this is just plastic, so it doesn't need to be super tight, just nice and firm. You could put a little bit of lock thread on there, it wouldn't be a bad idea, a little bit of blue lock thread. And they are not actually indexed, it doesn't really matter where you put that actually on the foam lance. Just check for function, and that seems to be fine. And it stops. That's good. So the next thing is to just put the nozzle protector back on. Again, these aren't actually indexed as such, so they can actually go pretty much anywhere onto the actual assembly. So make sure it's seated so it sits nice and close to that point. Looks good on the front. And now we can just put the bar back into the top, push it all the way through. I just want to give it a little tap just so you can see it on both sides, and then just give it another check, make sure it's not going to come out. Put your pipe back into the bottle, and that's the job done. There you go.